Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been dealt another crushing legal defeat in his attempt to escape the over $1 billion in judgments against him for defaming the families of the victims of the Sandy Hook massacre. So, now, you're going to love this report. So, U.S. District Judge Christopher Lopez issued a ruling on Thursday of last week saying that Jones will not be allowed to use bankruptcy to avoid paying the damages to the families who have successfully sued him in court. Again, this is a default judgment that he lost because he refused to play ball, and he thought, oh, no, I don't need to play ball. I just declare bankruptcy. I'll pull a Trump, right? And I'll just get away with it. I'll hide my money, and it'll be fine. I won't have to pay any of this stuff. This judge said, nope, not going to happen. Now, the decision is another significant defeat for Jones in the wake of juries in Texas and Connecticut punishing him over spreading falsehoods about the nation's deadliest mass shooting. Jones had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year, and more recent financial documents submitted by his attorneys put his personal net worth around $14 million. Oh, that's way more than what I'm worth. But Lopez ruled that those protections do not apply over findings of willful and malicious conduct. Yes. So, look, the thing that's super gross about the entire situation, and I've been talking about this for years. I've had numerous videos on the stuff that Alex Jones had talked about, even before the lawsuits and all that, just covering Alex Jones and the terrible things that he says, the conspiracy theories, the falsehoods and stuff. He made millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars off Sandy Hook conspiracies. And now is crying poverty. Really? Poverty? On his website, Jones posted a video claiming that he's broke and can't afford to pay $1 million, much less $1 billion. Quote, well, it's all academic. I don't have $1 million. My company has a few million, but that's just to pay the bills. And my product is the future. My product in the future. So we are literally on empty. So this idea that we're going to take your money away doesn't exist because the money doesn't exist. It's all political. No, the money doesn't exist, huh? I will get to that. He also says, at the end of the day, they won't take my free speech away. I'm still going to be on the air one way or the other. Okay, but defamation, by definition, is not considered free speech. You have free speech, which stops the government from stepping in and throwing you in jail, over things that you say. To a certain extent, of course. For example, threats. But in the civil case, and that's what this is, defamation is a civil suit. It means that you cannot willfully and maliciously go out and lie about someone. That's not protected by the Constitution. It's not protected by the First Amendment. It's kind of like the definition of F around and find out. Alex Jones F'd around. Going and saying all these heinous things about families who have suffered an unimaginable tragedy, mocking them in many cases, and of course, profiting handsomely off those lies. And again, he knew it. Didn't matter. He made all this money, and he didn't care one way or the other, right? What happened to those families? Even when some of his own followers would go and physically threaten, show up at these people's houses, say, oh, you're just trying to take our guns. That's all you're doing. Crisis actor, your child never died. This is absolutely horrifying. That is not free speech, okay? Going on the air and lying on these malicious ways, which then spurs their followers on to do terrible things because of what you said, not free speech, defamation. Now, that said, talking about Alex Jones, so, I don't have any money. Well, that's okay. You can still downsize your operation, buddy. Why do you need millions of dollars to sit there and make up conspiracy theories? Seems pretty easy to me, I mean, get a $30 webcam and have at it, Hoss. You can do it. It's fine. Pay your freaking bills. Pay the people that you owe. Take some goddamn personal responsibility, Alex. Look, it's not like the guy does not have the money. According to his own financial monthly reports in the bankruptcy case, this is official, right? He spent, in the month of July, $93,000. That is more than I make in an entire year, easily. He spent it in a month. A lot of it on meals and entertainment, while the Sandy Hook families have received absolutely nothing. Now, thankfully, that might actually change. Christopher Maddie, a Connecticut lawyer for the families, put out a statement after this ruling saying this, quote, "The families are pleased with the court's ruling that Jones' malicious conduct will find no safe harbor in the bankruptcy court. As a result, Jones will continue to be accountable for his actions into the future, regardless of his claimed bankruptcy." And that's not all. It's not over for Jones, the legal issues. There's another lawsuit pending in Texas brought by the parents of 6-year-old Noah Posner, who was killed in the attack, but was accused, of course, of being a crisis actor by Jones. Worst of the worst, right? But as I mentioned before, the fans that follow him really are a problem. Look, as I mentioned, relatives of the victim testified at the trials about being harassed and threatened by Jones' faithful, the believers, who sent threats, confronted grieving families in person, as I said before. And so those people are a problem. Again, Jones will jump on a platform, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, before he was banned, now Rumble, and would lie. And for years and years and years, his lies were spread unfettered. In fact, the algorithm actually would push those lies into people's feeds, onto users. And of course, it had the effect of, and this is how the algorithms kind of work, it would show you the things that you watch and would show you more of it. So you would end up, of course, being pushed further and further into more and more fringe radical right-wing content on these platforms. So now the result, of course, is the platforms made money. Not only did Jones make money, the platforms made money, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Now, of course, they only banned Jones when he became inconvenient. I don't know how to solve this problem. And look, I want to solve this problem without infringing on people's free speech. Of course, right? I actually do care about the First Amendment. But I do know that this problem is not really a free speech problem. This is a problem of capitalism. And what do I mean by that? Outrageous conspiracy theory-driven content tends to get a lot of eyeballs because there's outrageous people, and there are always people that are going to be more receptive to conspiracy theories and things like that. And so, this content is always going to find a way to thrive, right? And now there are platforms which are capitalist in nature that are going to monetize the crap out of this. And so again, more eyeballs, more views, more advertising, more revenue, both for the content creator and the platform itself. So there's an incentive structure to put out reactionary conspiracy content that tends to be very right-wing and very dangerous, of course, for people like the Sandy Hook families. So now, the other thing is, they do this, they have done this, and they get caught. There are advertisers that get very, very mad, and then these platforms, what do? They massively overcorrect and then ban people, demonetize or deprioritize content that actually does push it back against these conspiracies. And so there's a difficult balance here, right? Which is why, at least in the case of Jones, they can go outside of that because there was clear defamation here that is actually going to hold him accountable.